Dear friends, I'm going to concentrate on a very important aspect of improving the boiler efficiency. This is a very practical kind of lecture wherein you as an energy auditor can intervene and improve the boiler efficiency, improve the fuel savings, improve the savings in financial terms for the industry where you are auditing. While discussing the losses, different losses which the boilers encounter, we had seen this expression wherein we said that there is a major loss via the dry flue gases. So the heat lost via the dry flue gases, I had shown you this expression, is calculated as mass of the flue gases into the specific heat of the flue gases into the temperature difference Tf minus Ta into 100 upon the GCV, where GCV is the gross calorific value of the fuel. And this temperature difference is basically the temperature of the flue gases and the surrounding temperature difference. So Tf is the flue gas temperature and Ta is the ambient temperature. Now this would be clear to you that the mass of the flue gases is the addition of the actual air supplied mass plus the mass of the fuel. So it follows that if I want to reduce this, if you look at it from a mathematical perspective, it follows that if I reduce this or if I optimize this M, then my heat lost via the dry flue gases can be reduced. By optimizing this value of air which is to be supplied with the boiler, what I mean is in the industry it is called as boiler tuning. Boiler tune-up is what I am going to discuss. By the boiler tuning, I mean we need to adjust the supply air such that we have the maximum efficiency of the boiler. So for that we need to be very clear on the concepts. Look at this curve. There are certain terms which are written over here. One is called as a stoichiometric combustion. By stoichiometric combustion, what we understand is the theoretical combustion, and theoretical air supplied is the term which we use in combustion chemistry, meaning that if we write the equations of complete combustion, like for example if the fuel has carbon in it, hydrogen in it, and if you write the equation as C plus O2 gives CO2, H plus half O2 gives H2O, then that this sort of equations if you write for complete combustion, and from those equations if you calculate what is the amount of oxygen to be supplied for complete combustion or what is the amount of air to be supplied for complete combustion, that quantity is known as the theoretical air or theoretical air to fuel ratio. Okay, so this is an important term we need to understand, that if you have the ultimate analysis of the fuel with you, you can always calculate what is the theoretical quantity of air to be supplied. And then if you supply more oxygen or more air than the theoretical quantity, it is called as the excess air. So excess air is the amount of air which is supplied in excess to the theoretical air. Similarly, on the other end of the spectrum, if you supply less air than the theoretical air required, that would be called as the deficient air supply. So deficient air means you are supplying less air than the theoretical air. Excess air means you are supplying more air than the theoretical air. Please note that we are not talking with reference to the mass of the fuel. With reference to the mass of the fuel, we are always supplying more mass of air. What we are talking about is mass of the air being supplied with reference to the mass of the air to be supplied theoretically. So mass, when you are saying deficient air, does not mean that there is more fuel and less air. It means that the air is less as compared to the air at this point. Okay, that is the only meaning. Now, if you look at this graph, it is understood that if you are supplying less quantity of air than the theoretical air, that would lead to incomplete combustion, which is shown by this carbon monoxide curve. Okay, and if you supply more air than the theoretical air, this carbon monoxide proportion would start reducing, and finally you would find that there is no carbon monoxide left in the products of combustion. Okay, so if the products of combustion there is higher carbon monoxide, it means that the air supplied is deficient. That is, the air quantity is less than the theoretical air. If there is no carbon monoxide present, it means that the air quantity is over the much more above the theoretical air. Okay. Similarly, if you look at the oxygen, theoretically you will understand that if there is oxygen present in the fuel, it means that there is an excess air. And if there is no oxygen present in the air, it means that the air supplied is deficient. Okay. You would also look at this. So this is oxygen curve. You see that as you go on increasing the excess air, the oxygen present in the flue gases will go on increasing. The interesting curve is the efficiency curve, boiler efficiency curve. You will find that the boiler efficiency curve goes on increasing, okay, and then there is a peak, and then it decreases. So you see that this peak value of efficiency is not obtained at the theoretical air supplied. Okay, this peak value of efficiency is obtained at certain quantity of percentage excess air. So this quantity of percentage excess air is the desirable quantity of excess air which we need to supply, okay, so that the efficiency of the boiler is maximum. Okay, so this quantity would be the desirable quantity, right? If you supply less excess air than this, the boiler efficiency would be slightly less. If you supply more excess air than this, then the boiler efficiency would be again less. Why would that be more? If that is more, the mass would increase unnecessarily. If you reduce it much more, then there will be incomplete combustion losses. Okay, so that is the this understanding would help you to tune the boiler. So by tuning the boiler, we should generate, what we mean is that we generate such sort of curves and we arrive at this point. Okay, and this has to be done repeatedly. Please note that this has to be done repeatedly. So how do you perform this boiler adjustment procedure or boiler tuning so that the excess air is minimum, and this is the value which we obtain. Minimum possible excess air, practically value of excess air or excess oxygen has to be obtained by boiler tuning. So what you do during the boiler tuning is that we need to bring the boiler to the test firing rate. Okay, and we need to put the combustion controls on the manual mode. We should not operate on the auto mode. Okay, so this is the first important step during the boiler tuning. That is, you need to bring the boiler to the test firing rate and you need to put all the combustion controls on the manual mode. So you need to allow now the boiler to stabilize. Okay, so after stabilizing, that is when the steady state conditions are reached, you need to observe the flame conditions and you need to take the complete set of readings for calculating the boiler efficiency, which we discussed. It will take the complete set of readings for calculating the boiler efficiency. Okay, so this way you will get a particular value of boiler efficiency. Then what we need to do is that we need to raise the oxygen percent by increasing the supply here by 1 or 2%. Okay, so by every you need to do a step-by-step increase. Okay, step-by-step increase of excess oxygen. So let us say you increase it by 1%. Again, you allow the time to stabilize, and again you take the reading. Okay, again you reduce the oxygen in small steps. So what you need to do is that you need to increase first the excess oxygen by 1 or 2%. Allow the time to stabilize, take the readings, calculate the boiler efficiency, then reduce the oxygen in small steps. And while doing this, when you are reducing now the oxygen in small steps, you need to observe the stack temperature and the flame conditions. Okay, then you need to allow the unit to stabilize when you do each change. Okay, so when you do each change, you should not take the readings immediately. You should allow for each change to stabilize, and then you need to record the data. You need to continuously start reducing the excess air until a minimum excess oxygen condition is reached. So step by step, go on reducing the oxygen and plot a sort of data like this. So you will get this sort of curve, okay, wherein you need to then, once you get this curve, then compare the minimum excess oxygen value to the value which is provided by the boiler manufacturer. Okay, so you will have some value which is given in the supplier sheet, boiler manufacturer sheet. Okay, and if you find that the oxygen which they recommend and the oxygen which you have, they are different, high excess oxygen levels should be investigated. Okay, establish the margin in excess oxygen above the minimum and reset the burner controls to maintain this level. Okay, so you need to reset the burner controls, and these steps you need to keep on repeating for each firing rate. Some compromise in optimum oxygen settings may be necessary, since control adjustment at one firing rate may affect the conditions at other firing rates. So this you need to keep in mind. After these adjustments have been completed, verify the operation of these settings by making rapid load pickups and drops. You need to change the load rapidly and drop it if there is some undesirable condition, because this is how the boiler would actually operate. No? There would be rapid load pickup or there would be rapid load drop. So if there is an undesirable condition is encountered, you need to reset the controls. Low fire conditions may require that there are some special considerations to be given. You need to also perform this test on any alternate fuel used, because if you are setting the boiler for a particular fuel and if the operator uses some other fuel, then we need to you will be making some blunder. Okay, so this can be avoided by performing the test on any alternate fuel used. Again, some discretion will be required to resolve the differences in control settings for optimum conditions of the two fuels. We need to evaluate that the new low oxygen settings which you get after the boiler tuning test, okay, has to be safe, meaning that you need to put an extra attention to the furnace and flame patterns for the first month or for a month or two following implementation of the new operating modes. Thoroughly, we need to inspect the boiler during the next shutdown, because if you are done theoretically the boiler tuning and if you are not taking care of what would have happened to the boiler, then that might lead to a blunder. So you need to inspect the boiler thoroughly during the next shutdown to assure that high boiler efficiency. You need to periodically make performance evaluation and you need to compare the results obtained during the test program. So this is called as a boiler tuning, a very important step in improving the boiler efficiency. So as I said, we need to reduce the excess air and operate the boiler, come out with the solution where there is a lowest practical oxygen level. When I'm saying lowest practical oxygen level, we need to take care that we need to take care of the smoke, CO and stack temperature, and we need to maintain caution that if there is an extremely low excess air, then that could be a catastrophic. So we should achieve both the things, that is safe operation of the boiler as well as the efficient one. So this is a very important aspect. Boiler tuning is a very important aspect of improving the boiler performance. Thank you very much.